So let's start with Primus because this is their debut album. It's called Frizzle Fry. Comes out in February 1990. Primus, I think most Americans that aren't Primus fans know Primus through one thing, which is the South Park theme song.
Les Claypool.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Were you a Primus guy? Did you listen to
was.
them back then?
I saw Primus in Berkeley at two very small venues back in the early 90s. I saw Primus. I remember one time I saw them in a band called Mr. Bungle open for them. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
That's Mike. Is it Mike Patterson from Faith No More? Was the lead singer of Faith No More?
Yeah, he's awesome.
He had his. Am I saying? Is it Patterson?
It's Mike Patton. I want
Patton.
to
I
say.
think, Mike Patton. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you.
He's a legend. He's someone who I'm sure will come up on the show.
He urinated in a shoe and drank it on stage
maybe
in the
that's
Mr.
what
Bungle
he's most
project.
known for.
But I saw Primus a couple times back in the early 90s. They were spectacular. Primus is, yesterday when we were talking about the 90s, I said something about the early 90s being this time of all this free experimentation within rock music, like anything goes.
Right.
Attitude that was super fun to be part of. And then, the underground becomes homogenized into Stone Temple Pilots come along and it's big business, all right.
Right.
Not to pick on them, but
It all started sounding the same, and some of them did it really well.
It just became the mainstream, the underground.
By the time it got to Creed, I was checking out. I was kind of like, I'm done with this.
We'll probably get to Creed, won't we? Unfortunately.
Definitely.
So this was that time, and Primus is the Rush of the 90s. 3-piece prog rock, but catchy. Great ideas. They're also funny, like we talked about.
Yeah.
They're very funny. There's a lyric on this thing where he says, "They call me what is it? They call me Mr. Know-It-All. I am so eloquent. They call me Mr. Know-It-All. I am so eloquent. Perfection is my middle name," and whatever rhymes with eloquent. Boom. They go back into it. It's very funny, clever. And somehow it's catchy, even though it's really atonal and dissonant and very prog rocky.
Sounds like Zappa to me, honestly, a lot of it.
I think Les Claypool out Zappa, but Zappa is admired by musicians because of he's quite a virtuoso guitar player. Les is like that on the bass. All three, Larry Lalonde, the guitar player, the drummer, those guys can play.
That's when I was listening to it this morning, I was like, these guys are really good.
So good.
They're a tight band, and it's also like Primus's rhythms, the sort of like overall sort of driving, heavy intensity of it.
It's staccato. It's very 16th notes.
It sounds like Red Hot Chili Peppers a little bit. Like some of it's got that like kind of funk bass heavy sort of slap bass thing.
Yeah.
That's my impression of the slap bass. Yeah.
Do that again.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of 16th notes, like in the 1, 2, 3, 4, like a lot of that percussive.
It's a frenetic energy.
He is a percussive bass player. I remember back then thinking that, and when I was a kid, just going, how does he make his fingers move that fast? And then there's a real, there's that grandiosity of prog rock in their music, like the Rush and Iron Maiden, who would do these big long epic things. They did some of that.
What is prog rock really? I hear
progressive
that term,
rock.
Yeah, I hear that. I know what it stands for, but I mean, I feel like I know it when I hear it. But it's sort of like
it would be like Yes,
I always
Topographic
think of
Oceans and Rush. Like that. It was that sort of what a lot of people would have considered. It's self-indulgent, long-form rock compositions.
Yeah,
the late 70s.
Complicated, and they build on themselves. Yeah.
Late 70s. And so that's what I would imagine it would be defined as. These are not 3-minute pop songs that they're writing.
Yeah, right.
In fact, I don't know if you know this, but not too long ago, Primus went out on the road and did a Farewell to Kings in its entirety, a Rush album from the late 70s called The Farewell to Kings.
I didn't, you know what? I never even made that connection between Primus and Rush.
Oh, they're the Rush of the 90s, man.
No way.
Weird vocals, bass player.
Because I think of Rush as like, I don't know, like really like Lord of the Rings type shit, like.
Their old stuff, for sure. But so was Led Zeppelin. They actually referenced
definitely literal Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I just mean like mythological creatures and shit like that. Yeah.
They talk like you know, 2112 was all about a space journey, Cygnus X1 going into the black hole, and they had those kind of stories. And Iron Maiden did that kind of stuff too. Iron Maiden wrote about, you know, the pharaohs and the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and so these
I remember being scared by people that were into Rush. Like the Rush guys were a certain type. You know what I mean? Like they were all like long-haired weirdos.
Burnouts, yeah.
Yeah.
But Rush themselves are like known for being nerds. Like
right.
Gene Simmons made fun of them. Their first big tour, they were opening for Kiss. And Gene Simmons would be like, hey, you guys want to come party? And some girls like, no, well, I'm in our room reading. They're very nerdy, you know, like, but that's super funny. And I remember when the late 80s punk rock Satan scare that happened.
Yeah, the Satanic Panic.
Yeah, Satanic Panic. It was said that Rush was an acronym that meant rule under Satan's hand. And I remember just going, if you believe that, then you're a fucking idiot.
You're a mark.
These guys are the most well-educated, straight-laced, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were singing about science and space, and
yeah,
they're just, it was incredible. But anyway, getting back to Primus, yeah, they had an incredible run. They did the South Park thing, but Claypool has been, you know, speaking of Tom Waits, do you remember he did the voice of Tommy the Cat on one of their songs?
I didn't know that.
They have a song called Tommy the Cat, and Waits is the voice.
Waits is on a Primus album.
And Les Claypool played on some Waits records too. We'll get into those. I don't want to spoil that because
yeah, that's interesting. But I mean, there's a sort of outcast thing to both of those.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Primus and Tom Waits. There's a weirdo undercurrent.
Yeah, I
Primus
think,
isn't like a big popular band, but at the same time, they were on MTV. I remember them around.
Yeah, they were. But they definitely carved out their own niche, and they had a wealth of interesting ideas.